Hello everyone, watch this review here with a look at the DC Universe Classics Azrael Batman from Wave 16, the Bane Wave. Now this character, of course, plays a major part in Bane's first real storyline, the sort of introduction of the character. Bane orchestrates a breakout from Arkham, and then after he's worn Batman down, he confronts him in his lair, beats the crap out of him, and breaks his back. Batman goes out, seeks out a sort of sociopath that he's had past dealings with and is thought reformed and, has him step in to assume the cowl. One of the first things that the Azrael Batman does is he kicks the holy crap out of Bane, and I think he also broke Bane's back just for, revenge or whatever, but can't really recall. Now, naturally, this was probably one of the figures that people are more excited to see this wave. This is, of course, a partially mechanical suit, which is why we get all sorts of extra neat detail to it. This was the only reason that John Paul was able to really confront Bane head-to-head and beat him up. In their first encounter, Bane did hand Azrael's ass to him. Azrael! But yeah, hold on a second and I'll get this out, Pac. Azrael Batman, or maybe I'll just call him Azrael throughout this review, comes with the right leg of Bane. Now, first off, you'll notice the drastically different Bat logo here. I believe that was also the logo that they used for Nightfall and the follow-up storylines, which were Night Quest and... was there one after that? I can't remember. But, after Azrael proves to be too psychopathic to really hold down the mantle of Batman, because there's a certain amount of crazy that's allowed, go over that line. No dice. Bruce Wayne is forced to step in and beat the crap out of Azrael to reclaim the cowl, or mantle. Now, I was leaving this figure in box just because it has some sort of minor paint errors, and I was hoping to find a better version in stores. No luck there, but if you look at the wrist here, you have some paint bleed, or just looks like they didn't fully paint in the area. Just kind of funky. And then there's some minor scuffing on either side of the face here. On the back of the package, we have this thing sort of flipped out. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. I can't really remember the character from behind. I mean, usually when you see a comic book character, it's from right in front or the side as they're attacking and stuff, so, Of course, the wings are also kind of bent. Or at least they look kind of bent. So definitely a lot of things to look out for, not the least of which are these tiny portraits here, which can also be bent. Which is, kind of disappointing. Other than that, this is a really neat character design. There's really a lot going on with it. The whole cables and stuff attaching to his arm are sort of reminiscent of Bane itself. Where you're kind of getting this exterior strength. I mean, this isn't like purely Batman or anything, where Batman, is physically trained and everything. It's, definitely something different, because you get these outside boosts and modifications, which Batman's not so much into. Figure's also kind of unique among DC Universe Classics figures, because we have a ball and socket elbow, which is something you almost never see in the game. In fact, I can't recall ever previously seeing it, so it could even be the only time that, something like this has popped up. So maybe on a Collect and Connect. I don't know. This is something I'll have to go back and look at, but you'll notice paint chips and stuff on that. I mean, in most regards, this figure has some pretty exceptional articulation. A lot of the figures in this wave did come out really, really nice. Going through, you have a point of rotation on the wrist in addition to the forward back on a ball and socket. But I mean, you really won't get a lot forward or a lot back because of the heavily sculpted forearms here. The cables are removable. Of course, you probably wouldn't want to ever remove them, but they do have a tendency to kind of pop out at times. Or at least they popped out in box. I'm not sure how often it will fall off, but you know, this whole portion here is a separate piece, so it can move around as you wish, or as you will even. And of course you have to worry about the little things here bending out of place. Again, ball and socket. At the shoulder we have a ball joint, no bicep, which is kind of a ready. Somewhat impeded movement, but it's a softer plastic up here, so it's not too bad. Again, you know, it's just something that you won't be able to pose in a lot of really different ways, because the arms themselves are kind of on the stubby side, and yeah, it's just something about that's kind of off. Although I'm sure it's probably like true to the character and everything, just because you have to remember this is half machine here. And it might just be the thicker portions for this that kind of give that appearance. Head rotates barely. Doesn't really go up or down. We have a point of rotation at the waist. We have the usual ab crunch here, but mine doesn't seem to really crunch all that much. I'm not sure if it's just a one-off defect or what. You will of course notice the modified bat belt and stuff here. Then we have the sort of standard hip joint. Point of rotation at the thigh. Double pin jointed knee. Then a pin joint here at the ankle. Now, to give you an idea of height and scale and everything, let's bring in a standard Batman. So I mean, this is definitely a bigger character, or if not necessarily taller, it's just kind of bulkier all around, because of all the sort of mechanical parts and the wings here. In fact, it doesn't even look that much taller than Batman, which is kind of, from some angles it looks like the Batman might actually be taller, which is kind of weird. Also, I'm just not sure how this belt is staying on there. So there's no buckle or anything. It's probably sewn onto the costume or something. These are just odd things you notice. Of course, he has the Mattel thing. If you ever want bad armor, Mattel, that's the company you have to go to. Paint-wise, you know, just mostly solid tones. And then with the glossy metallic effect for the blues, the golds, and to a certain extent the reds. Except for it's not a more metallic, it's more of a just glossy red. Bottom portions, no paint or anything. Oh, plus sort of silver sheer. I don't know, of everything I thought this was one of the figures I'd probably be most impressed by, but I think that the real standouts for me this wave are more just like the Robin, the Riddler, and even the Jonah Hex. Which is kind of strange, given that I was really looking forward to this one. Of course, Bane will probably also be pretty awesome. I still need to complete him. But this has been a look at the Azrael Batman. You know, pretty decent figure. It's definitely got a lot going for it, and it's sort of an essential if you have a Bane wave to have the character that sort of helped break Bane in. But yeah, until next time, folks. Apparently my figure has one other defect, and this is the first time I've ever seen this. I believe it'd probably be like impossible to know some package, but if you look, it's got like this weird break or split at the ankle. Now it's kind of unfortunate, but I can't imagine returning it because, you know, it would just cost more to get a replacement, and it's probably not a huge issue. I don't think it'll probably do anything over time, but if you can look for it, just make sure that your things are proper when you pick them up.